I know I'm going to get some flack for this. The fanboys are going to go crazy and destroy me for this. Let's have more! The Line 6 Helix products have been a constant on our pedal boards for a long time now. But let's put this into context. The Helix itself was released in 2015. Now 2015, Barack Obama was president, David Cameron was Prime Minister, and the iPhone was on iPhone 6. iPhone 6. So in terms of electronic products, that's quite an age. So is it time that we had a new version of the Helix? And if so, what could it be? That's what we're talking about in this video. When the Helix first came out, it was groundbreaking. It had great effects, it had great basic amp sounds, the ins and outs and the connectivity on it were way ahead, and the thing that really blew everybody's mind, certainly blew mine, was how easy it was to program and that user interface. Superb. But 8 years on, we're all older and wiser and a little bit more long in the tooth, and we've seen 2 more presidents, 4 more prime ministers, and the iPhone is on 15. 15! And in the same period of time, guitar technology has moved on quite a way as well. The big notable examples, I think, are the Quad Cortex and the Tonex. I'm going to talk about some of the really obvious things that you'd expect to be improved over time in a new model, but I've also got some ideas that are fairly radical, and I'll talk about them later on. Right, the obvious thing is we want more DSP, because you cannot go wrong with more DSP. Think about it like this. If you've got a big patch that's got lots of things happening, and then you decide that you want to put the pitch shift at the front to detune it, well, that block itself takes up a huge swathe of DSP, so then you're running into problems. And the stuff that's in there already is great, but the newer stuff that's coming along is using more and more DSP. So eventually you're going to run out. And let's face it, the competition, the Quad Cortex, the Axe Effects, have all got a lot more processing power under the hood. Snapshots! Oh man, we love snapshots! Let's have more! By the way, this video today is brought to you by me. I am the sponsor of this video, and I'm sponsoring it with my book, and the links are down below. You can buy separate chapters, you can buy the whole book at once. When you go into Teespring to have a look at it, the advertising marketing blurb is absolutely terrible. Don't let it put you off, the content is good. And if you buy the whole book, when I do new editions that have extra chapters in, and you will be able to see the extra chapters, write to me, show me that you've bought it, and I will give you the new bits for nothing if you've already bought that. How's that for a bargain? Have a check it out, links down below. Back to the video. Right, the really obvious thing, the really obvious thing is captures. Quad Cortex does captures and Tonex does captures. I'm running my Line 6 stuff with a Tonex, and honestly, the amps in the Line 6 are good, but when you start comparing them to captures of real amps, it's just next level. When you're at bedroom level, both are okay, but the louder you go, the more obvious that seems to be. So when you get it to a gig and you're through a big PA system, that difference between the captures and the modelled amps is just night and day. I'm not saying that the amps are bad, but we are 8 years on. And since the new head rush has all of the processing power, the effects, the modelers and captures, maybe it's time Line 6 moved into that area. And why haven't they done that already? Well, there's only 2 possible reasons. Either their business model is definitely not to do that, or the unit doesn't quite have the processing power to do that and not compromise everything else too much. Here's the thing, the pedal, the wah-wah pedal, volume pedal, whatever you want to use it for. I like mine on the left, and sometimes it's nice to have 2. So wouldn't it be a good idea if the unit either didn't have one and you got it as an extra, or it came with a pedal that you could move from one side to the other, and then maybe add a second one on and have it bolted on as part of the unit, or not, entirely up to you. That might be quite cool. What about this? I do a lot of solo acoustic stuff, and it would be great to be able, and I know you can, and it is possible to run a microphone through it and your guitar and mix them together, but if you could then have something that actually looked like a mixing desk on that massive screen, so you could just mix it like you would a mixing desk, it would be hugely advantageous to be able to just do that and to change things on the fly like you could with a real mixing desk. You know what the elephant in the room is? Well, the elephant-sized thing. The elephant-sized thing is the Helix. It's bloody enormous. There's acres of space wasted on it, just blank bits of metal. It's huge. Why does it have to be so big? And that brings me on to the idea that I think I'm going to get a mountain of hate for, but I think is a great idea. Alright, here's the biggie. If you want to give me flack, do it in the comments, please, by all means. But I want a bit of kit that I can drag into a gig, I can throw on a floor, I can have it deliver, I can plug it straight into the PA. I want something that's bulletproof. I want something that's pissed person proof, that's beer proof. I want something that's mic stand falling over on it proof. And I want something that I can control and listen to and program with comfort. Line 6 were absolutely groundbreaking in introducing that big screen. Now all the other manufacturers are catching up and putting touchscreens on it. Here's the thing. Sometimes you need to turn things around, and I think it's time that Line 6 took the lead again, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but got rid of the screen. Hear me out, hear me out. All the modern mixing desks have an iPad control. The Behringer's got iPad control, the Soundcraft have, they've all got iPad control. And when you go out front, in front of the PA, you can listen to it and you can tweak that PA. When you change your guitar sound, you're behind the PA, you're bending over on the floor, and it's a pain in the arse. You can't hear what's actually happening properly. You've then got to go out front and have another listen. Or if you're in a rehearsal studio and you want to change things on the fly, you've got to bend down and you're messing about on the floor. If you're at home, yes, you can hook up your computer. That's much, much better. But if you're on a gig or at a rehearsal and you can just have an iPad or a phone on a stand and you can run exactly the same software to program the bloody thing, then you can do it standing up. And you can hear it properly. You can go out to the front of the PA and you can have a listen to it front of house, and you can tweak it with the real sound of the thing coming at you through the front of house. You can tweak it when the rest of the band is playing and you can listen and make it sit right in that mix. The advantages of being able to program the thing from an iPad are huge. Not only that, if you haven't got the screen on it, you're not paranoid about breaking it, you've saved acres of space, you could put another row of pedals there, or you could just make the whole thing smaller, which would be great. How much more convenient would that be? You know, all the manufacturers of big mixing desks are doing it, so maybe it's time that we as guitar players got on that bandwagon and caught up. The scribble strips are a really big help, and I'm not suggesting no screen at all. I think just a little strippy kind of thing would be absolutely perfect, so you know what patch you're on. What mode you want. Everything else can be on your iPad or on your phone, and do it via Bluetooth. Give us the option to do it via Wi-Fi, and give us the option to plug a lead into the back of it as well. Because if it's on your stand, you want a connection that's bulletproof, and a lead will do it. Now, I'm not sure how much the screen costs as part of the manufacturing process, but if you remove the screen, you remove the cost. And you not only remove the cost of the screen, you also remove the cost of the control chips that go along with it. And that money can be spent elsewhere, making the unit better. Have I gone too far? Am I being too radical? You know what? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. If there's some things that you'd like to see in the new Helix, then let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!